Let's be honest. Reading is easy. Remembering what you read? Not so much. It's like your brain has a delete button that it loves to hit at the most inconvenient times. You read a whole chapter, feel like a genius, and then, poof, it's gone. All that's left is a vague memory of words on a page and the crushing realization that you've wasted your time. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, you're in the majority. But here's the good news. Remembering what you read isn't magic. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned. Today, I'm going to share some tips that will help you remember everything you read, because I'm a nice person. First of all, study less, study smart. Let's start with the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This rule states that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. Sounds like a scam, right? But it's not. It's science, and it's everywhere. 80% of the world's wealth is owned by 20% of the population. 80% of traffic jams happen on 20% of the roads. 80% of the time, you're probably wearing 20% of your clothes. We all have that one hoodie we can't quit. So, how does this apply to studying? Simple. Instead of trying to memorize every single detail in your textbook, focus on the 20% of the material that will give you 80% of the results. For example, if you're studying for an exam, identify the key topics that are most likely to appear on the test. These are your golden nuggets. Master them, and you'll be way ahead of the game. Here's how to apply the 80-20 rule to your studies. Review past exams or syllabi to identify high-yield topics. Focus on understanding concepts rather than memorizing random facts. Use active recall. Test yourself on the material instead of passively rereading it. By studying smarter, not harder, you'll save time, reduce stress, and actually remember what you read. Plus, you'll have more time to binge watch your favorite shows guilt-free. Morning glory. Why studying early rocks? If you're the kind of person who hits the snooze button 5 times before rolling out of bed, this one's for you. Studying in the morning might sound like torture, but hear me out. It's a game changer. Here's why. Your brain is fresh. After a good night's sleep, your mind is like a clean slate. You're more alert, focused, and ready to absorb information. Fewer distractions. Let's be real. No one's texting you at 6 a.m. The world is quiet, and you can finally concentrate without interruptions. Studies show that your brain is most active in the morning, making it the perfect time to tackle complex subjects or memorize key facts. Still not convinced? Let's do a quick comparison. Student A studies for 2 hours in the morning with full focus. Student B studies for 4 hours in the afternoon, half asleep and scrolling through Instagram. Guess who will remember more? I'll tell you, it's student A. Even ancient scriptures say the same thing. The early bird gets the worm. Let me tell you how to make the most of your morning study sessions. Start small. If you're not a morning person, ease into it. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier each day until you find your sweet spot. Plan your session. Decide what you're going to study the night before so you can hit the ground running. Fuel your brain. Eat a light breakfast and stay hydrated. Your brain needs energy to function at its best. Take a break. The power of rest. Here's a hard truth. Cramming for hours without a break is not just ineffective, it's counterproductive. Your brain isn't a machine. It needs rest to function properly. Think of it like a muscle. If you lift weights non-stop, you'll eventually burn out. The same goes for studying. But here's the catch. Not all breaks are created equal. Some people take a quick break that turns into a 3-hour Netflix marathon. Others skip breaks altogether and end up exhausted. So, what's the solution? Use a tomato. Yes, I'm serious. It's called the Pomodoro Technique. The Pomodoro Technique is a simple but powerful way to balance study and rest. Study for 25 minutes with full focus. Take a 5-minute break to stretch, grab a snack, or do a little dance. After 4 cycles, take a longer break. Why does this work? Because it keeps your brain fresh and prevents burnout. Knowing you have a break coming up makes it easier to stay focused during your study sessions. Now, for effective breaks, do this. Move your body, stretch, walk, or do a quick workout to get your blood flowing. Avoid screens. Give your eyes a break by stepping away from your phone or computer. Teach what you learn, even if it's to your cat. Here's a fun fact. One of the best ways to remember something is to teach it to someone else. Why? Because explaining a concept forces your brain to process the information more deeply. And no, your cat doesn't count as a someone. But hey, it's a start. Here's how to use this trick. Summarize what you've learned in your own words. Explain it to a friend, family member, or even your pet. They're great listeners, even if they don't understand. Answer questions. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And here's an extra tip. If you're feeling extra ambitious, record yourself teaching the material. Watching it later will reinforce what you've learned. Plus, you'll get to see how awkward you look when you talk to your cat about quantum physics. Use mnemonics, because your brain loves weird stuff. Mnemonics are memory aids that help you remember information by associating it with something familiar. And let's be honest, your brain loves weird stuff. The weirder, the better. I'll give you some examples. You can use acronyms. Remember the order of operations in math with PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. What about rhymes? 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. You know the rest. Visual images are also great. Picture a giant hamburger to remember the layers of the earth: crust, mantle, core. The key is to make it personal and memorable. So go ahead, let your imagination run wild. Your brain will thank you. Stay organized, because chaos is overrated. Let's face it, a cluttered workspace equals a cluttered mind. If your notes look like a tornado hit them, it's time to get organized. Use tools like flashcards, mind maps, or apps like Anki to keep track of what you're learning. Color code your notes. Use different colors for different topics or categories. Keep a study schedule. Plan your study sessions in advance and stick to them. And if all else fails, just remember, a clean desk is a sign of a sick mind, or something like that. Get enough sleep. Here's a hard truth. Pulling an all-nighter might make you feel like a hero, but it's not doing your brain any favors. Sleep is when your brain consolidates memories, so skimping on sleep is like shooting yourself in the foot. Make sure you're getting enough rest by sticking to a sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Create a bedtime routine. Wind down with a book, some music, or a warm bath. Avoid screens before bed. The blue light from your phone or computer can mess with your sleep. Remembering what you read doesn't have to be a struggle. By studying smart, thanks to the 80-20 rule, taking advantage of your brain's morning freshness, giving yourself regular breaks, and using tricks like teaching, mnemonics, and organization, you can boost your memory and ace your exams. And let's not forget the most important thing: be kind to yourself. Learning is a journey, not a race. So the next time you sit down to study, remember these tips. And if all else fails, just remind yourself, even Einstein needed a nap sometimes. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment about your study adventures. Your support helps me create more content like this. Thanks for watching.